now.
Oh.
Okay. So we'll get started now that people are watching. See, if I'd started doing stuff before we were live, then people go, "Oh, you just cheated. You created all that stuff, and you don't know how to Minecraft." More like
I'm good.
Nacho song. Well, shit. So cool little trick. If you just break all the wood, the leaves will naturally die.
But I like destroying them.
Okay, then destroy them.
Destroying things.
Go ahead.
Uh, so all live, is your stream doing well this week?
Uh, we're dropping some frames, but it shouldn't be anything bad.
Yeah.
I did a stream test earlier and I wasn't dropping any. But I wasn't playing Minecraft either, so. Check your recipe book.
You've learned to do things.
You learned a thing. Congratulations. Okay. So do I need to teach you how to workbench?
Oh, I know how to do that. Are we just gonna drop one here?
Basically. Oop. Oh, that's weird. Okay, they added more recipes than the last time I did this. Okay, I have like 3 already, so there you go. Oops. Oops, I have a block I shouldn't have. I'm just gonna drop it in the ocean. Whatever. Someone finds it, they find it. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. My bot's spamming me, so. Oh, I meant to. Let me do a quick time set. It's just so that we have a full day to start with.
Right.
Okay, so need a wooden pickaxe. 3, 4. Get some sticks. Wooden axe. And then a wooden shovel. I never make the wooden sword because, like, theoretically you shouldn't need to fight anything by... So I might have cheated a little bit. I might have scouted out the map.
Not getting that authentic experience then.
Just to find some coal, jeez.
Sorry, you're still just a bad person.
I know I'm a horrible person. Everyone knows that.
Well,
Yeah, argue that.
I can't. Ooh, Stone Age. Look at you.
I know, I'm all fancy and shit. There's a hole in the ocean. There's a hole right here that I almost walked into. Oh shit.
That's where the ocean drains, I think.
That's the edge of the world. Congratulations. You proved Columbus wrong. Oops. Oh, holy ocean. Oh god. That was just gonna be creating like all the commentary for us today.
I mean, It's usually what happens, right?
Basically. Hey, I found some iron.
Ooh.
I know. Flat Earth was real all along. Vela. 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 Like getting buckets is like one of the most important things for me. Because oh god. The servers come alive. Okay, well, for everyone that's watching, everyone that's here, if anyone's here, I don't know. Maybe I should look at that. I know I'm just the worst.
At least I've got you to admit it without me having to say anything.
What? That nobody's
You are the
watching?
worst.
Oh.
That you're this the worst.
Wait, when did I say that?
You just said that right now.
Did I?
Yeah.
Somebody clip it. No, I'm kidding. Please don't clip it.
Why do we have to clip it? It's just, you know, like clipping the sky's blue.
I mean, prove it. I mean, we're talking about flat earthers, so.
That's not what we're talking about. Okay.
Well, Vela's talking about it in the game. So for the lovely viewers that we have so far, today we're gonna be talking about the Bartle's killer personality that we were gonna talk about last week, but you know, technical issues.
Someone decided to have terrible internet.
I know. I know, it was all my fault. I chose for that moment to happen. I don't know what's going on with the server chat. It has just become sentient at this point.
I mean, I guess that's the thing.
Ow. Ow.
So yeah, so we're going to talk about the killer archetype. Looking at Bartle's original paper, killers were the people that like to act upon other players, which basically means that they and the way Bartle kind of described it was that these players basically looked at online games like sport, like hunting or fishing or shooting. They wanted competition in a more direct way than the achievers did. Achievers being the people who basically wanted to are the people who act upon the world. Killers were kind of the ones who act upon other people. And so one of the things that happened was that it was kind of a misnomer, unfortunately, and Bartle kind of admits this later, where the killer archetype was originally kind of associated with player killing, PvP, what we call PvP these days, and so he but the problem was that it's kind of it really is more than just that. At the core of it, the killer archetype is the person that wants control.
Right. I was thinking about it, like, I guess yesterday I was really thinking about it, and I came to the realization in my own thinking with that they were kind of like the alpha personality type of the
Yeah,
spectrum.
right. I mean, like, they kind of they want to, um, they want to basically kind of like be control. And this can be kind of like a negative thing, like they want to control somebody else's experience to the point where they want to, like ruin somebody else's fun. But there can also be like positive people, and I kind of prefer to call them the controller archetype instead of the killer archetype, really. Because if you look at it, like you can have, and again, going back to kind of original discussion about this, people aren't just one archetype. People aren't just pure killers that want to go out and kill, and or achievers that want to go out and achieve. You tend to be a blend of things, and so like if you have somebody who's very social and a killer, this can be kind of what we discussed before, like kind of a raid leader archetype. Somebody who wants to have control over other people, and for a good reason, to organize this raiding group.
And that can also apply to like guild leaders in general.
Right. Like they're more than just social, because they're more than just social. They also basically they want. You okay with that?
No.
But they want they want that kind of control over other people.
Yeah, which is a kind of interesting thing about like, and talking about how no one's just one spectrum or one personality type. Like when that's why I kind of wanted to play Minecraft today, because when I play Minecraft in particular, or anything that's kind of like Minecraft or Ark or Rust, I tend to be more of an explorer, like killer personality type. That's how my tendencies tend to be. I tend to enjoy trolling people, basically.
Literally the worst.
I know. I am the worst. Oh, okay. While I'm playing MMOs, I tend to be more of a socializer. Sorry, we just got really quiet all of a sudden.
Yeah. I'm running away. Oh, it's nighttime. Oh crap.
Yeah, if you come back to the crafting table that we put down, I'm making a quick house to hide in.
Yeah.
And then we can really just talk while we wait out the night. Or I could just head it to daytime. Whatever. Oh no, we cheat.
I was in a cave trying to get some coal.
I have a bunch of coal for you. Hi.
That's fine. I can go get my own thing. So, but yeah. So, and so it tends to be kind of, like I said, it tends to be very kind of misunderstood. What the killer archetype does.
Which I think is just a definition error.
Right. Well, I mean, it's also
Here we go.
Well, hello there.
Come here often.
No, first time here.
So yeah, for the most part, killers are very much, PvP oriented, but they do
Well, I mean,
have
they
their
can be PvP oriented.
tendencies.
Yeah, they can be PvP oriented. This is like, this is, this is basically what, this is one of the main things that they kind of do is,
Nope. Hi.
but they do tend to kind of like have the reputation of being the type that will,
Troll and
right. I mean, like it's one of those things where like the negative aspects of it, are kind of front and center. The negative aspects tend to be much more of a front and center for the for the archetype, because that's kind of what people people will fixate on the negatives.
right. Like I mean, we could talk about this in Minecraftian perspective since we're here. Like if we were both like if either of us was a killer type. In this situation right now, the killer would be trying to kill the other person.
I mean, yeah. I mean, generally again, it kind of depends. Like, you can't necessarily say, a killer will always act this way, because killers can work together.
Right.
It's more about control. Like, but even in this situation, like, you are acting more of the killer because you're just kind of building out things, not really discussing things. You're taking control on how we're building out the structure here.
Right. That's your fault, not my fault. So.
Well, I mean, but it is a very killer attitude.
Right. Which I said I do tend to be more that way.
Right. It makes sense. And even, but in this situation, like again, like it's really, you can't just, a lot of times context makes important. Since you're much more experienced with the game, it does make more sense for you to be the one to, lead the building here.
Yeah, and like building bases and stuff. That's really what I enjoy doing too. So yeah, I'm just digging this out for the most part, just to make space.
Yeah, I figure as much. Watch we uncover a monster spawner.
I would love it. Like monster spawners are the best thing.
The sheep is staring at me from outside.
Save me!
Oh, you will get eaten.
Let's see here. Did I make this even? Kind of. I'm gonna take this out. Give it kind of a pillared room look.
Right. And so when you kind of design for killers, one of the hard things, of course, is that killers don't necessarily like to follow rules either.
Right.
Part of killing and being in control kind of often means making your own rules. And so, when as a game designer trying to make content for killers, sometimes means that you have a hard time really kind of creating content that will engage them. I mean, you can do things like PvP. Of course, one of the problems, of course, is with the PvP is that you kind of have like people that are more sportsmanlike and people that are less sportsmanlike.
Mm-hmm.
In the game I used to run, Meridian 59, you would often have people who um, basically just wanted to gank other people.
Right. We've talked about that before, off stream, where you had the issue of certain people like saying, "Oh yeah, I want things to be balanced. I want things to be fair." But once you made them balanced and fair, then they're like, "Oh no, but then I don't have an advantage."
Right, right. Yeah, especially when you start talking about a persistent world game. It can sometimes be difficult.
Close the door. Close the door. Close the door.
Hi, Mr. Zombie. Fuck off.
We have unlimited water supply now.
Ooh.
If you use a bucket and just collect from the center, it'll auto refill.
Right.
Which that's important to have access to.
We're just gonna bathe in here. Oh yeah, getting the dirt all in here. Following our drinking water. Yeah, and so basically, like I said, you sometimes have a hard time with that sort of thing because like how do you create content for someone who basically doesn't kind of want to follow the rules and wants to make their own stuff. And like I said, a persistent world kind of makes it harder because a lot of times the advantages somebody will get will accumulate over time.
Right. Like, I think, like, Ark, for an example, is a really good killer game. Because it has PvE aspects, it has PvP aspects when it wants to, and you can get some interesting scenarios where a player can take very strong control over another player's experience. Like, for example, the game has handcuffs. You can literally handcuff and cage other players.
Right.
So that's a very literal control over another player.
Right.
While explorers can enjoy the game too really well because it's an exploration game. Knowing where to find all the right dinosaurs in the right place is a huge advantage.
Right, and so you get so that that you in the knowing the dinosaurs and knowing the location of stuff, you kind of get this kind of goes more into the okay, stay outside. I'm gonna go back. This gets into the more of the explorer mindset, and one of the reasons why explorers are so are kind of interesting here is because they tend to know the game systems really well. Killers who want to
break those rules.
Right. So for them, finding somebody who can do that, who can break the rules for them, is super useful. So this is the kind of where you have, Bartle's original paper basically talked about having a lot of this
interaction.
Right. Like this a stasis between between the different groups.
Which we'll probably talk about explorers in more depth next week.
Yeah. Well, yeah, explorers are kind of like one of my favorite because I identify heavily with explorer. Lots of people who do game development tend to kind of identify the explorer because you kind of want understanding how things work.
And that's kind of why I chose to, hey, let's play some Minecraft, because it's a really good game for talking about some of these things.
Right.
So right now I'm actually working on building a garden space for our little house here. So sorry, I didn't mean to be too much of a killer. I wanted to let you in on what I'm doing.
I guess. Ooh, I found rotten flesh. Great.
Nice. There's
That's
actually some
rotten.
recipes that use that, if I remember correctly.
Oh, yeah, it's one of those things. Like I can pick it up. I guess it's useful somehow.
Yeah, I'll set up an incinerator inside the house so that we can get rid of unwanted items.
But yeah, like so. A lot of like a lot of so a lot of times like killers would kind of rely on explorers so they can kind of get the inside scoop on how to manipulate the game like a explorer does.
Yeah, kind of like how I gave you that little tip about the leaves automatically dying when you kill all the wood in the tree.
Right, right,
That's an explorer type
right,
interaction.
right, right, exactly. And I think I mentioned before, like explorers have kind of have fallen a little bit by the wayside because um like
The internet.
yeah, basically fan sites and wikis and whatnot kind of record the information that back in the days of the text muds, people kind of held in their head, or they had handwritten notes about.
Yeah, I remember. I mean, I guess some of the wiki sites were up by then. When I played Star Wars Galaxies, we used to have a like an archive of coordinates inside one of my guild's houses of important places that don't show up on the map.
Mm.
Like the Jedi temples, for example. There's no indicator in game of where the Jedi temples are, or the enclaves on Yavin
Right.
4. And by the time I was playing it, they're not really useful. They weren't functionable for anything in the game. They're solely for role play purposes.
Right, right. But that's useful to know for again, that's kind of like you kind of get the interesting interaction between socializers and explorers. Then like oh, here's some good places to roll. The people who go scout out good role playing locations, and the people who want to go use those
Mm-hmm.
locations.
And yeah, and I would do like regular runs back and forth just to make sure I remembered how to get to those places.
Mm.
So that if anyone ever asked me, I'd be like, "Oh yeah, it's right about there."
Yeah. So, but going back to killers, the what's interesting is that like what you really want to do is you kind of want to give people an outlet to let them express themselves, in a way that doesn't, isn't necessarily very harmful to the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like originally, like a lot of games kind of had, open PvP, which of course, kind of led to, people, PvPing each other.
Do we need to
Very.
talk about Crossroads?
Or Tarn Mill. Yeah, well, I mean, and so then later, with the MMOs, you got what we're talking about here, like world PvP, where it's kind of opt in.
Right, and using the World of Warcraft example, in modern WoW, all the PvPers get instanced away from everyone else.
Right, right. There's a spider over there. That's not very nice.
Spider! Speaking of PvPers, hi, Spider. Did you just come in the house? Okay. Hi.
Yes.
Actually, I should fill that in more. Sorry for the stream view. This isn't the most exciting thing to watch, but it's necessary. Why did I fill that in? I'm just gonna break that wall anyways. Spoiler. Vela. Thank you, Vela.
If I get bit by him, do I get to climb walls, or
Oh, that would be awesome.
do we have to research radioactivity first?
We're sorry, we don't have Feed the Beast. But no, like if I were to express killer tendencies, I would basically make this house a giant trap for my fellow players.
Right. I mean, again, like like the goal would be to try control, whether that's directly controlling it, by by directly trying to kill people, or or trap them indirectly by create kind of fooling them.
Or even just creating an environment where I have dominance.
Right. Right.
For example.
Right. Right. I mean, yeah, and like.
Oh shit.
You okay?
Yeah, I need to. Don't use the wooden axe.
Too late? Why?
It's associated with a mod.
Oh. I didn't notice any,
It might be an operator. I need to find the command for it. I can't chop wood. Okay, that's fine. Whatever. Continue, please. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, that's fine. And so yeah, like, and so you can have kind of like direct or indirect control. Like you said, like I think one of the things that a lot of people kind of overlook is the social aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
Where people can basically again, like the important thing is is control, not just being an asshole.
Although that does get associated pretty heavily. That's the thing I noticed in Bartle's original paper, was that when he would talk about killers, he would very specifically basically talk about the assholes of the server.
Well, again, like these are the kind of the sport. I think part of it is because like a lot of times the killers are basically kind of playing a different game than everybody else.
Right. They're making their own meta goals.
Right. They are they're creating basically they're playing a sports game where they know the rules and everybody else kind of doesn't.
Right, they're like the kid on the playground who keeps changing the rules to suit their advantage.
Right.
Which I hadn't thought about that analog. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off again.
That's fine.
I keep doing that. I'm an asshole. I'm the killer.
I'm used to it by now.
Wow. So but it's also kind of important, I think, to just point out that it's important to have killers because they create an importance on the interactions with the other personality types.
Right. Well, I mean, it's important to have the right number of killers. The interesting thing about the killers, though, is that they tend to be the ones that, they're the ones that basically like tend to drive away other people, in Bartle's original taxonomy.
Right.
Where he he the basically the only even killers, too many killers will drive away other killers, because people want to, killers tend to not like to share power essentially.
Because that's competition.
Right, exactly. If they have to kind of share this control with other people.
6, 7, 8. Ooh, we're off center. Oh well. What are you doing?
Carving out a little bit here.
It's gonna be a staircase.
Okay.
That's why I had it set up the way that I did.
Oh, look at you being a killer.
I know. I'm like such of a control freak when it comes to these things.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's why I wanted to. That's why I wanted to do this game, because I show those tendencies more. So.
Right, right. You okay over there?
What's wrong, Bella?
You have spiders falling from the sky?
I don't even know where she is. Let's see here. This is going to be a huge, massive room down here because I want to have at least 2 gardens available.
Mm-hmm.
But we're a little off-center. Whatever. Minecraft's one of those games where I'm all about symmetry and making sure everything's proportionate, and
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes it just doesn't happen. This thing came out of the sky. It ain't a spider. What?
It's making a weird noise.
One sec. I'll be right back.
Have you tried hugging it, maybe? Macho Man body slammed you?
Oh, what the hell is that? Oh my god.
Man, of all the times for me not to have your stream open.
I don't know what that was. It's like a giant, like, ender bat or something.
Oh.
What the heck is that thing? I punched it. I'm sorry. We're in a digression for the moment.
No, this is the. Oh wow.
Like are you
Is that?
right?
Yeah. Well, I haven't played this game in years, so yeah.
Sorry, Bella. I'm out of here. Okay.
Yeah. You're on your own. Goodbye. Maybe when it's.
Hi.
Maybe when the sun comes up, maybe the The sun comes up, maybe it'll burst into flames.
I have no idea what the hell that was. It hurt too. It took half my health. So yeah, like a build, even someone who's a builder in Minecraft can be a killer.
Right. Again, a lot of it is just about control. Again, they can be exerted through, um, uh, control in a social situation, like a guild leader, or even like kind of like an early example. This was kind of what we called the den mother. Like the person, the person that came in and would kind of like try to make sure everybody was okay. Oh, how are you doing today? Last time we talked, last time we talked, you were having some problems, so just making sure you're okay.
Right. I need to change setting.
It can be it can be a more direct conflict role, like the PvPers, the PKers, or it can be just exerting control over. I want to play, and you going in and like if I dig something out, you go in and fill it up and say no, it's not gonna be like this.
Right. So I'm not that big of an asshole. I'm just gonna be like, what are you doing? Someone who wants, I mean, it could be argued that a killer type personality would also want control over their environment, not just other players.
Well, so the Bartle's original taxonomy is basically a two-axis graph.
Right.
You have the world and player, and then you have interacts with and acts upon. So the person who basically, so the killer is the people that act upon other people. The
Right.
type that basically acts upon the world is the achiever.
Right. Oh yeah, I think I had that graph up at one point.
Yeah. And so and so basically, if you think about it in that way, like a little bit of that control comes through in the achiever mindset. You can kind of see a little bit of that in the achiever mindset, because they want to control, they want to be efficient, they want to do they want to do the best they can, they want to do the best they can in the context of the game
Being the best.
Right. Oh, it's a flaming zombie.
Hot.
I killed the flaming zombie.
Nice. Did you get his number?
Got leather boots. Got leather boots. Drop
Nice. Oh yeah, leather armor.
It has almost no durability left, but whatever.
Actually, you know what? Something that would be really helpful to have right now. Some beds.
Yeah, so if we die, we can respawn back in the.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have mod setup so that if you die, you can just type a command and go back to your death point. But
I get killed again.
Yeah, basically. That happened to me a few times.
Oh, that's a skeleton! Ouch!
Uh-oh. Yeah, you can just type /back and get back to your death point.
Yeah, I see that. But if I do that, I'm just gonna die to the fucking skeleton again.
Yeah. Where's the skeleton at? I don't even know where you ran off to.
I'm in a pool of water.
Is the skeleton in the pool of water too?
Yeah. Oh no, he was right there.
He's dead. Yeah. Wow, he almost killed me too.
Yeah. He was pretty vicious.
I almost have enough wool for a bed. We'll get there. Oh my goodness, there's a zombie. And he has an egg. I'm gonna get you. My egg.
Selfish.
Don't worry, we'll have plenty of eggs in due time. Okay, there's enough for one bed. I found a little bit of iron, so I managed to make some shears.
Shears.
Why was that gasp worthy?
I don't know. Because I like
Okay.
being silly. Yeah, and so basically, the and so like, like I said, like it's really hard to make, kind of going back to the earlier topic, talking about like making content for killers can be really hard because well, like I said, the killers don't like to have like rules imposed on them.
They
So
want to
try to
be the
keep
ones making the rules.
yeah, they want to be the ones making the rules. The other big problem you run into is that uh like a lot of times like the stuff that they do tends to be kind of like a little bit outside the context of the game, like raid leading. Bill on the puns. Like leading raids is a good example, where like games really don't define a raid leader position necessarily.
It's created out of necessity for.
Right. Like like the developers create the raids.
And the players create the structure in which you run the raids.
Right. Like well, I mean, and it kind of goes to the efficiency issue.
Yeah, we got a bed now too, Bella. Thank you. I don't even know where Bella's house is. Like.
And so like that, and so therefore it can be really hard to create that content for the killers, for the like the raid leaders and the people doing things like that, because it's kind of it's a structure. It's kind of the same thing with in a way it's a very similar thing with a lot of social structures, because like this you can kind of we have guilds and whatnot that you have guilds that basically kind of like provide a lot of the kind of the basic social needs for the players. But like there's it's a lot of times you just kind of give people tools to you give people tools so basically they can
What am I doing? I don't even know. Making food. I need food. How are you on food and health?
I'm fine because I died.
Okay.
I guess dying refills your food now.
Yeah, it
so.
does. Walk.
Which is basically what I'm kind of doing now is I'm building a kind of a pathway over to the one cave I was exploring. Just making it so that it can get over there easily during the day and then return home at night.
Yeah, it's all good. When I get to that point, like, where's the cave at? We can actually make an underground passage from our house to the cave.
I'm doing all this nice work. Here, I'll show you.
It's all good. Oh, more wool. Rabbit, rabbit, rabbit. Thank you.
He's murdering the poor rabbits.
Yep.
The cave I was exploring is over here. This little area here.
Okay. We can definitely get a passage from inside the base. Ooh, there's all sorts of goodies down there. I'm not going down there.
Yeah, well, yeah, that was I met a zombie down there, and decided to run. So
Yeah, getting armor made will be a huge boon. And I'm trying to think of how, in what way Minecraft can satisfy the achiever.
well, I mean, like literal achievements.
Yeah, true, and
I
I guess it would be like the achiever that would be going after the Ender Dragon.
right.
Like
Yeah. Again, remember, it's about demonstrating mastery.
Mm-hmm.
And being able to kind of like show that mastery to other people.
Right.
And so achievements tend to kind of fill that. Achievements tend to kind of fill that need. Because they're a very public thing, and the other thing to keep in mind too is that like when we start talking about Bartle's types, we're talking about things that kind of apply primarily to multiplayer games, because everything about the only one that doesn't really kind of fit this specifically is the explorer, because exploring is kind of interacting with the world.
Right. Yeah, that's a lot. Like, the more we talk about it, the more I realize just how kind of niche specific Bartle's types are to muds in particular. Like, you can expand them out to MMOs and multiplayer games, but the perspective of his paper was very much to the environment of muds.
Right. I mean, and I'm sure Bartle will be the first person to tell you that. Like, he really did. He really did kind of mean this to be kind of a focus on. From his experiences with muds.
Yeah, I think it even says it in the paper that this is specific to text-based. Like, there's a little footnote at the end of the paper.
Right.
Talking about that. Which I appreciated that, he's just like, oh no, this is the end all be all. No.
And Bartle's a really nice guy. So he's definitely not the type who's gonna be like, oh
Oh yeah. You can also sleep in your bed to heal up now, I think. Or if everyone on the server sleeps in a bed, then the server will actually skip over to daytime. Fella, get in your bed. Okay, that sounded weird. Phrasing.
I don't know. You pushed our beds awful close together. I don't know. Are we married now? Oh wow! Did I kill you?
Oh, I took a sip of water at the wrong moment. Okay, it didn't help me at all, but I think it helps with like food drain.
Gotcha.
Oh, that was in bed. There we go. Daytime.
Ah. It scared me a little bit because all of a sudden all I saw was your face right there.
I'll.
You know, like, you know, thought you were taking that marriage thing a little too seriously. Dinner and a movie first, please.
Don't tempt me.
Oh my.
Yeah, I got you. I got you, though. Don't worry. Okay, we need to get this food situation taken care of.
Is there anything I need to do for this? I just been kind of snacking on apples that have been appearing after I killed the trees.
No, that's totally fine. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6.
Oh.
Hmm.
Flaming zombie. Ah, the zombies had me on fire. You bastard. Oh, there's spiders over there.
Congratulations.
Like 3 spiders. Oh, there's a creeper.
You mean a hissy mister?
What does experience and level do for you in this game?
So experience levels are used for repairing equipment and enchantments.
Oh, okay.
So when you go to repair an enchanted item using an anvil, it will cost you a certain amount of experience.
Ah.
And that's where the importance of spawners come in, because they become experience farms.
There's a creeper awfully close to our doorway.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, eventually one of us can work on the exterior and actually build like a buffer zone. I was gonna say me, but that sounded kind of mean. Oh no, I'll do all the building.
Yes. I'll just protect the house for you. I think the creeper likes me.
Ew.
And not in the good way.
I know, just like stranger danger. Need dirt. Where's the creeper? Be careful.
Yeah.
See, I was trying to avoid. Well, I got my dirt, so whatever. See, if you can kill the creepers without them exploding, you can get gunpowder from them. And get
gotcha.
and be able to make like TNT and stuff. Oh, I just heard an ender. I have a creeper plushie, and I absolutely love the thing.
If that's not cry for help, I don't know what it is.
It was a Christmas gift.
I'm just saying. um, yeah, and so I think that so I think, you know, as a designer, you know, even though it's very hard to kind of design these things with killers in mind, I think like that's a very important thing that you need to do, though. You kind of need to figure out, um,
Like figure out the meta tools that a killer would want to have.
and also like uh, figure out the figure out ways to kind of like satisfy a killer's needs.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't channel that aggression to something useful,
Then you're just gonna take it out on the community.
right, they'll exactly. It's just gonna they're just gonna cut. They're basically just gonna grief other people. So if you can kind of understand. If you kind of understand the needs of a killer and then basically try to kind of satisfy those, I think that's kind of a very important, a very important thing to do in a multiplayer game. And so like giving the handcuffs, is the way to basically let it kind of has a double focus here. Allows killers to kind of exert their control over other people. The flip side, of course, is it kind of lets people know what kind of game it is. Like,
Right.
nobody can go into, nobody should go into,
Ark expecting a
right, and like, oh my god, I didn't even know that, I didn't even know that, this is, this was the type of gameplay here. It's like, well, yeah.
Although, and then that there's also the fairness tools of being able to select a specific like server type.
Right. Well, yeah, and like when you have like a world that's not a persistent world, this is like being able to giving people tools so they can choose. Well, I want to, I want to have this type of experience or not, is useful.
Ah, crap.
You okay?
Yeah, I screwed up.
Oh.
And anyone who knows how to do this stuff watching is just gonna be like, oh, you're a fucking idiot.
And I wrote a blog post about talking about like why achievers win and killers lose. Because the game I ran, Murder 59, was a very heavy killer focused game.
Mm-hmm.
And so kind of like what I tried to do, like what I looked at, like because people who like killer type gameplay, people who like PvP games, tend to lament the fact that there aren't more of them.
And then like a game like Ark or Rust comes out and they kind of glomp onto that.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, that type of game is kind of has become more in style. The problem, of course, being that a lot of times even with these type of games, like a lot of times people will be like, oh yeah, I want something more specific, like
A specific experience that game doesn't necessarily give.
right. Like kind of going back to what we talked about with the fairness thing, like a lot sometimes killers don't want a fair fight. they want there to they want there to be conflict and whatnot. They want there to be
Strife.
Strife, and and a lot of times for them to manipulate they want to be able to manipulate the situation to their advantage. I think kind of a great example of this when I was working on Meridian was that I worked hard to kind of create bone block. Okay, I worked hard to kind of create this system of guild wars to allow people to basically be able to fight each other.
Guild versus guild.
Right, exactly, because like that's kind of like in a lot of ways that's kind of what happened with the nice.
Vela.
Because that was what happened in the game was that two guilds would kind of like go at each other hammer and tong. And so basically I kind of created a system for that so that basically people could declare guild wars and in theory be able to basically be able to kind of like be able to basically kind of have fair fights with each other.
Right.
The problem, but of course the problem was that like sometimes people didn't want fair fights.
They wanted to be able to gank and bully and beat up on and.
Right.
Get inside! Get inside! Get inside!
Hi, Mr. Zombie.
Okay.
Right, and so yeah, that was kind of the problem you run into is that you can make you could make it something that was in theory supposed to be very fair and very equitable, but the reality is that people didn't want that. They wanted they like what you said, they wanted to gank.
That bone. Here's another neat trick. If you take bones, you can craft bone meal out of them.
All right.
And you can use bone meal to instantly grow crops.
Oh.
Because when you start gardening, you get positive feedback loops. As you garden, you get more seeds to make more garden, to make more seeds, to make more garden, to make more seeds.
Right.
Do you need food?
I'm fine for right now.
Have a bread.
Okay, I'll have a bread though. Is there an easy way to heal up or?
Have a full stomach.
Okay.
The more you heal, the faster your stomach will deplete.
Oh, that's not what I want to do.
Give me. Thank you.
You're welcome. I didn't even know I had them.
Yeah, if you get any seeds, toss them in this chest. Like, I want food and gardening stuff in this chest. Okay, Bella. I mean, if you want to come share, you can find our house. I don't know where your house is. Somewhere in the desert. So you get seeds by breaking grass.
Okay.
So that's good to know. I guess soon we can start working on exterior stuff and get a house exterior up.
You want me to put bone meal in the top chest, the bottom chest?
Bottom, because that's the gardening.
Sure.
Right now I'm working on filling out the next garden because I like to have at least 3 gardens. So I'll build one and then I'll expand the room for the next one to fit. So on and so forth. And the setup with the torches, that's a temporary setup, by the way.
That's fine.
Once we can go to the nether, we can get glowstone, and I can just put glowstone in the ceiling and make ceiling lights that way.
Mm-hmm.
But that zombie's a jerk. But again, this is me being a killer, kind of controlling the building of the gardens and stuff.
Yeah. You want me to start digging a hole toward that cave that I found?
Yeah, I think it would be this way if you just
Yeah,
wanna go that way. That works. And that's a good way to find coal and iron along the way too.
Right, right.
If you need torches, let me know. I have tons of coal on me.
I've got like a dozen torches on me, so.
Okay. That's one thing you can. Hmm?
I remember enough from the original game that when I played. Ooh, I found some kind of deposit.
Oh. That's iron.
Ah, cool.
Yeah, if we can get enough to get some. Holy shit, Vela. So what personality type do you think Vela's displaying? I'm noticing some anti-zombie feminism.
I mean, who likes zombies?
Hey, zombies have families too, or did, before they became zombies.
Yeah, but do the family still even care about them?
There's actually a quest in the new expansion of WoW that kind of explores that.
Yeah.
Where there's this really powerful mage who can, you know, help the horde do stuff, but he's like sick and dying, and we have to like help him find a cure for his illness before he'll help us. And we fail. We fail to find the cure, and he begs to be turned into a Forsaken, so that he can go back to his family. And then, you know, he's a zombie, and he goes to his family, "Oh, you're a bastard! Get away from me!" It's just like, fuck my life. And then he like begrudgingly agrees to help us because he has no other purpose anymore, and he's, you know, damned eternally. And it was very reminiscent of a movie. I just can't think of it off the top of my head. Probably a vampire movie. Yeah, that sounds about right.
A golden zombie.
Oh yeah, gold zombies. They spawn with gold armor. And if you kill them, you might get an armor drop out of them. Ow. That was stupid. So, if anyone has any comments or questions, we kind of burnt through the killer topic pretty fast, to be honest.
Well, I mean, like the problem you run into is like the killer archetype isn't really catered to very much.
Right.
You know, like you got a little bit and we started to see a little bit of that, like games that catered to them that were not persistent. A lot of the competitive games like League of Legends, um,
Yeah, the MOBAs,
or
those are really good killer games.
right. Well, I mean, and like I said in Bartle's original paper, he talked about killers viewing the game as a sport.
Mm-hmm. Esports.
And
Huh.
right, exactly. There you go. Exactly. Esports. Here's some zombies nearby. I don't know.
Yeah, I think we're on top of a cave because I'm hearing them below us. Which is, that's interesting. Esports as a
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
is kind of fascinating if you really look at it.
yeah. So basically, yeah. So esports has been kind of this.
And it just got recognized by the ESPN for once too, recently.
Uh,
I think they had an esports leaguer on an ESPN magazine recently.
oh,
Or it might have been Ninja. I don't remember. But
right, and like, yeah,
some big gaming celebrity was on the
right,
front of an ESPN magazine, which there's been a lot of controversy about ESPN not recognizing esports as a sport.
right.
Which that's actually interesting to read about if anyone's ever wants to. Or we could talk about it on the podcast someday.
Yeah, I mean, esports is definitely kind of an interesting topic.
Like, I didn't know this before I went back to WoW, but they actually have a Mythic Dungeons esports league.
Well, I mean, like, that was kind of the popular thing. Like, everybody and their sister trying to kind of, get into esports.
Yeah.
I remember Guild Wars 2 had like a very specific setup, that's supposed to kind of feel equitable.
Really? Guild Wars for esports?
Guild Wars 2.
Oh, yeah, okay.
There was a special PvP. That's what I'm looking for. Mode that basically, you didn't have to level up. You could just basically kind of show up and.
Was that the Realm versus Realm stuff?
No. It was basically like completely separate. You went in there. You basically you got like max. Basically you got just you became max level. You could assign points. There's special gear you could earn in there that was oops, I created the wrong thing.
You okay?
Yeah, no, I created a hoe instead of a shovel.
This is a nice little tunnel you got here. I usually do like one 1x2 tunnels.
I did want something nice and wide, so.
No, it's nice. We can make a minecart system in that and everything.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, I just noticed my frame's a little off on the stream. Let me fix that. Ooh.
What did you did?
I'm ruining everything right now. I try to fix it. There we go. Fixed. My bad. Nothing's broken. And like I would totally look at games like Overwatch too, because like crowd like there's a lot of crowd control characters in Overwatch where you can really just screw with someone's day.
Right. And yeah, so that type of thing, again, like crowd control is a little bit less about, in this case, is a little bit less about controlling, because because it's basically a sport, like
Right.
um,
What don't you believe, Ella? Hashtag heckin' big concerns. Bridget. Actually, another topic we could talk about is the evolution of Blizzard in general.
yeah.
Well, I mean, we talked about it a little bit, but just how they've grown from making Lost Vikings to. But I digress. Anyways, killers.
Yeah. Well, I think that kind of the rise of esports has been interesting because you again you had this thing that was kind of like seen as for a long time it was seen as like the killer archetype was kind of seen as more trouble than it's worth.
Right.
And so like having it changing it so that it becomes this almost valued thing. Was definitely kind of an interesting transition. From the from previous. Got a nice coal vein here.
Oh, nice.
And so yeah, so basically kind of like transitioning from
Oh, killers are jerks. We don't want those kind of players.
right to suddenly them being kind of
Catered
lauded
to.
and appreciated. Yeah.
And making money.
Right.
Like, all of a sudden, they're, a profitable player type to cater to.
Right. And so yeah, it's kind of interesting. And it kind of shows the versatility of I think the killer archetype, where it's no it's not about
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Okay.
but like you said, a lot of that kind of comes down to the killer archetype being kind of not a one size fits all type thing, where you have you can channel that into, especially in a non-persistent game, you can channel that into something, a competition.
I'm actually reminded of a game that I've watched some people play. I the company that runs it, I don't have a good track record with.
Hmm.
So I was like when they released it, I was just like, nah. I think it's called King's Reign.
Okay.
And it's kind of a Rust type game where there's no 100% clear direction of what to do,
Hmm.
and but it's set in medieval era, and basically what can happen is one player can become king,
Hmm.
and then the king has control over the kingdom and can basic but there's no game system that's just like, oh, you're the king, you can do everything. It's all
Right.
socially
Right.
socially designed,
Right.
but the king can set you know taxes or whatever that he can have his guild or followers enforce, and people can be put in shackles and stockades and handcuffs, or executed, whatever.
Hmm.
So like that's a very interesting game for social design, where there's no game tools that enforce it. It's all player chosen, player respected.
Right.
But it would very much be like the killers who want to become king, and who would like try to rally followers to do their bidding, or at least in my thought process. And then it'd be
Right.
kind of the socializers who are trying to just not, you know, get ganked. So the socializers probably be the cronies.
Well, and the socialized is also going to be like a useful source of information.
The the snitches, quote unquote, or the
Right. Or the
lookouts.
people that have like lookouts.
Or the guys hang out in the tavern, just kind of hang out, but when the king's cronies come along, there, oh yeah, I think I saw him, couple,
Right. Right.
go that way. But I always find those kind of games that don't necessarily put a lot of game. Have we not had game audio this whole time?
Uh.
I don't think my stream's been picking up on my game audio
Well, that's terrible.
because it's kind of quiet. Oh well. Anyways, and then the explorers would be the guys trying to figure out how to take down the killers.
Right. Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, and not yeah. I mean, it's kind of a side effect of.
Right. And then the
The kind of
achievers would
side
just
effect.
be the hoarders or the
Right. Okay.
Okay, it's just like my audio levels are just being a little wonky. It's all good. Gotcha.
I found Flint.
I really do like find the games that give more emphasis on social design than strict game systems
Hmm.
really interesting, because you get some very interesting results through that. Kind of, Rust is really heavy with that, where they give you the crafting system, and they give you the tools, and they give you the building, materials,
Right.
but there's no specified end goal or
Right. People kind of create their own gameplay, their own fun
right.
out of the tools.
Okay, getting some more iron made. Having fun back here?
I have no idea. I haven't measured how far I've gone. I could have gone like way past the cave for all I know.
There's mobs over here, so.
Yeah. Dirt.
Oh,
Did you find it?
I found sand, which means I'm gonna find the overworld. Oh, 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 oh. Don't go that way. Sheep? Oh yeah, another explorer tip. When you start dealing with lava, bring lots of gravel.
Right.
You can use gravel to traverse lava really easily. Because you can just drop it in until you can make a path with it.
Right.
That's a tip. That's a trick that took me a really long time to realize you could do.
Oh shit.
5 more water.
Yeah.
So the best food to farm, once you can find it, are potatoes. They're the most of like health per unit efficient food. Because you can cook them into baked potatoes, and it like one baked potato can heal a third of your hunger.
Oh.
And you can get a stack of potatoes out of one garden, basically. So that's just... it's raining now. That's what that sound is. So like food per garden slot, or unit per garden slot, potatoes are the most efficient food. The more you know.
But you have to kind of find the...
You have to find at least one potato, and then you can get a potato garden started. Which I might know where to find some. Just a matter of getting there. I might have found an NPC village.
Oh.
Which, that's where you can get, like, all your crops.
Right.
But it's a kind of a travel. So. So what I tend to do, I tend to set up 3 gardens. One for wheat, one for potatoes, and then usually one for carrots. And then I'll rotate the carrot one in and out, depending. So the importance of having the different the different crops available is that certain animals will respond to certain foods. So if you want to attract animals into your animal farm, first you have to have a bunch of Russians. I felt the joke coming, okay? And so you use the food to attract them in. Like pigs respond to carrots. Cows respond to wheat. Cats respond to fish. So on and so forth. Still looking for that cave?
Yeah, there's some. I think I hit. I think there was a there's some dirt over here. I think I saw open sky, but it's night, so
Maybe.
I'm gonna create like a stairway up.
Ooh, I'm starting to starve. Come on, crop farm. But yeah, and as we talked about before, you know, the important thing is to cater to multiple personality types in a game.
Right.
Like that's why a lot of games have, you know, PvP, they have raiding. They've gotten better about being more RP friendly for the most part. Like I remember getting very frustrated in Warcraft when it first came out. Because there wasn't a lot of world interactions, and I really wanted that. Like there'd be a bench and you couldn't sit on the bench. And stuff like that. But eventually they added those world interactions.
Right.
Over time, which was greatly appreciated. Oh, it's raining.
Yeah, it's raining.
You're almost there.
Yeah, almost there. Except for there's this lake in the way, so I have kind of a
go down.
Yeah.
Here yeah, if we can clear this out, we can turn this into like a little secondary entrance.
Yeah. There's a creeper over there, watch out. Oh, there's a zombie over here. Oh, crap. The creeper found me.
The more you know. Yeah, I saw you just kind of run into him like,
I didn't see him. Oh. Oh, there's a gold zombie over here too. Oh, lovely.
That's nice. Those guys are jerks. Yeah, that's the one thing about Minecraft. It's really hard to get started.
Right.
But once you get, you know, set up, it's not as bad. And eventually, we will get some underground tree farms as well, so that we don't have to go up and out into the danger to get wood. And that's probably one of the harder things to build because it takes a lot of vertical space. There we go. Secondary entrance to your little
I
tunnel.
killed the zombie. I killed the gold zombie.
You killed it? You get anything
Yep.
good?
No. Too
was
red
it,
flesh.
was it worth it?
I feel a sense of accomplishment.
Are you an achiever now?
I have mastered the system. I engage in achiever behavior by bragging about it so that you knew.
Nice. Got wood. Waggle eyebrows. That moment, I wish I had face rig on so I could make an expression.
Oh shit! That's the fucking.
Did you really have to?
again.
Did you have to? Wow, that is like that was right on top of where the last one was. You have made like you don't even need to make a hole. Like just dig a couple blocks in and you're gonna hit your tunnel. Yay.
Oh.
Oh. Too soon. Yeah, I think one of my favorite things about playing Minecraft is just the sense of like transformation in the world as you go.
Mm.
Like you start with this very, very, wild environment.
Mm-hmm.
And like just slowly over time you transform it into an environment suited for you.
Right. Well, I mean, I think a lot of these types of games have that kind of aspect to it where it's like basically kind of mastering the world.
Mhm.
I think games like Ark and Rust, in particular, really kind of show that like literally you're taming dinosaurs and making them do things for you. And so I think that you definitely have kind of this sense of basically like that you're conquering the world, you're making things inhabitable for you.
Yeah, it looks like we're having a little bit of server lag, so just by the way.
Okay.
Yay, I'm not dying of hunger. Woo. Yeah, if you let your hunger get too low, you won't be able to sprint anymore. Stuff like that. Yeah, at some point, I'm gonna want to actually build kind of a wall up and get kind of a courtyard type structure,
Mm.
so that we can have a controlled exterior environment to build farms for.
Okay.
So we'll need a lot of cobblestone for that.
Sure.
Again, a killer mindset. I want to control my environment.
Right. Right. Yeah. So yeah. 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 I think it's kind of a. Um. Yeah. So I wonder if like how much of the killer mindset controlling the environment and controlling other people. That's kind of an um, interesting thing to consider.
So where's the entrance to the house? We need to build that up more. Make it more obvious.
Right. Right.
I cannot hit this rabbit for the life of me. Okay, there it goes. Jeez.
There's a ninja rabbit.
Basically. More like laggy rabbit, but we're tiny,
Fucking
we're
rabbits take.
toony, we're all a little laggy. And it was cartoony, we're rubber banding on your screen. There you go.
But yeah, like so maybe talking a little bit more like a traditional killer design. Like a lot of it, like when I ran Meridian 59, a lot of time I spent a lot of time kind of like definitely catering to that mindset. Trying to make it so that like essentially the good kind of killer, kind of found a fun
niche.
things they like to do. Right. Where I definitely didn't want to
Alienate them.
alienate them, but I also didn't want to encourage like the assholes that kind of were just kind of wanted to come in and kick over people's sandcastles.
Right, because no one has fun with that, except for that one guy.
Well, except for the person doing the kicking over. Yeah, right. And it's basically it's kind of a numbers thing.
Whoa.
Hmm?
Thank you, Sal. Sal just teleported into my face. I thought we were married for a second.
Oh, now you know how it feels.
I know. That's getting dark again.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, pumpkin seeds. Those are always really good. Well, Vela, I showed you where we were starting, so you know. Yeah, I gave Vela a glider to run around with, and I think she flew the coop.
Mm.
Oh, does anyone remember what sheep respond to? I think I listed it earlier. I can't think of it now though. What food sheep like? I think I want to say it's seeds or not seeds, wheat too, but hi. Or is it flowers maybe? I don't remember. Uh Mm-hmm. What am I looking for? Sticks. Oh yeah, there's a recipe book in your crafting menu as well.
Yeah, yeah, it's up by default.
Okay. Just making sure you know.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm looking for fencing and gates. I think it's sticks and half blocks. I think. Fence. Where's gates though? Sticks and blocks. Hi, pumpkin. Oak fence. I have to look it up.
Do you have food?
I have a little bit of wheat. Here. Wheat's three wheat, or bread is 3 wheat wide.
Okay. Yeah, picking up the wheat. I just got the recipe for it. Huh.
Ah, nice. Oh, it's the opposite of a fence. Okay. That makes sense. Need more sticks. Yeah, so the server seems to be going a little sluggish. Might be however many people we have on. Slowing it down a little bit. More wood. Do we have wood? Okay, we have some wood. I hope everyone's having fun with this. It's a little different than what we usually do.
I'm a little quieter than usual because I'm new to the
Concentrating.
game. So yeah. Oh God, zombies.
Oh my God, there's skeletons right outside our door. Ugh.
But yeah, so like we're talking about designing for killers. Like one of the things I um designing for killers, like I said, I kind of wanted to cater to like the kind of the good people, while not encouraging kind of the people that kick over sandcastles. And so a lot of the some of the design that I kind of focused on was um don't get shot by skeletons. Um, a lot of what I focused on was kind of this kind of the you know how do you make it more like a sport?
Right.
Because like I said, there's a little bit of a I felt that there's like you didn't want to encourage kind of some of the bad behavior.
Right, and that can be kind of a tricky thing because bad behavior can come out inadvertently to certain things.
Right. And as you get like and one of the kind of design philosophies I started adopting was like you really don't need to give people a reason to fight against each other.
It just happens naturally.
Right, exactly. Like you really like there was no need to encourage it.
Like you don't need a reason to hate zombies; they just naturally happen.
Right. That is kind of an interesting design idea. Yeah, this idea that um
See, this is why I want to get Vela on more streams because you never have a moment of silence with Vela around.
but you definitely have kind of this players will kind of like naturally kind of be a little antagonistic to each other. um you don't need to encourage that. Like sometimes like I mean there was a couple of systems in Meridian that basically were just like how can we get players to fight each other? It's like, well, you really don't need to
Put players in the same in the same zone; they'll find a way.
right basically. And like I even noticed like this, and like I played this board game called Gloomhaven,
Mm-hmm.
and like there's some design decisions that kind of like encourage players to make non-optimal but potentially selfish decisions, and like I kind of like, get a little frustrated with that. It's like, well, like even playing with friends, like people kind of already will make kind of some selfish decisions. Well, there's actually that's kind of interesting because like there was a talk about this in some MMO circles about creating a creating making it so that enemies basically looked completely inhuman, even if you thought you were playing a humanoid character.
Mm-hmm.
Making it so that your opponents always looked inhuman, and so like like an enemy would see you and they would kind of assume, oh, this is a bad guy because They
Oh,
look like a skeleton or whatnot.
like in a PvP setting?
Yeah, yeah, in a PvP setting, like like imagine
Huh.
imagine Warcraft where
Right.
to the Alliance the Horde looked like just like literal monsters,
Right.
not um
You kind of get a little bit of that disenfranchisement in Final Fantasy 14 PvP because you don't see your opponent's names.
oh crap, god damn it. There was a gold skeleton, it looked like.
Oh yeah, that's a thing too.
Right next to a creeper too, so
You got screwed over.
pretty much, yeah.
Um I'm not noticing rubber banding as much as just block destruction delays.
Yeah, I'm noticing that too. Anyway, so the skeleton and the creeper are right outside our secondary door.
Okay. I'll try to help deal with that in a couple minutes. I'm low in health.
That's fine. Oh, you just die and get health back.
Yeah, that's kind of the downside of using the keep inventory rule. That there's not really a punishment for dying. I think you lose experience. Like once we get bows and arrows, skeletons and creepers are not as nearly as scary.
Right.
Yeah, so we have about another hour left before we call it here.
But so and I think that's like the killer or controller archetype basically is very broad, and so like trying to figure out. Oh. I don't even know what happened. Oh, you're up there trying to kill us.
Yeah.
Oh, he died.
Yeah, you got me
Did
good.
Did you kill the creeper?
I got the creeper. I just didn't get the skeleton. I said they're not as scary once you have the bow and arrow. I don't have a bow and arrow. Jeez. I don't have any armor either.
Yeah.
I. Oh my goodness, you're covered in arrows.
Yeah.
As one does. Okay.
But yeah, like, so the question is like, how do you appeal to the people that will add to the game? The people that like, because again, some sportsmanship. Oh, I think I finally ran into the cave.
Nice. Oh yeah, Val, you're over by you're close to Cell's base. A sheep in a boat. Oh my.
Saving that for later, are you?
I'm gonna get us some sand and make some glass. So we can have a glass roof over the courtyard area. Having issues?
I had 2 health left, so and a zombie kind of
Yeah, to regenerate.
a zombie came in through the from the cave.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, you probably want to make some doors
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and quarantine the cave off from the base.
yeah, yeah. I'll do that, but basically the zombie kind of just like ate me because I only had 2.
Yeah.
Okay, well I guess the zombie went bye bye.
One of the reasons why I wanted to set up near this desert was so that we could have easy access to glass. Because you cook sand into glass. So, would you say that that zombie had a killer personality?
I mean, more of an asshole personality myself.
Isn't that what's the difference?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. We'll get some glass cooking soon. But yeah, one of the things that I did want to talk about was the interactions between.
Yeah, the different groups. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, like I said, like killers tend to like explorers because explorers will tell them how to. Yeah, they kind of fear and like killers because killers will be able to. Basic killers kind of you can exploit things to basically short circuit the killer's control.
Yeah.
Because the explorers understand the game world so much, they can manipulate the world easier to get and can kind of beat the killers at their own game. But if a killer can get on good explorer's good side, then basically the explorer shares that information.
Yeah, there's actually this really interesting graph that I found on the paper that
The one at
shows.
the bottom basically shows the kind of the interactions between them.
Yeah. I'll
Yeah.
I'll get a clip of it in just a second. I'll send it to you too. It's not quite like the chart, but I think you know which one I'm talking about.
If you kill an explorer, then you're your own best friend.
Mm-hmm.
Vela just asked what have your killer/explorer.
Oh, I
if
gotcha.
you're kill explorer, then you're on your own best friend because you're curious about the world, and then basically you can use that to act upon the world.
It's kind of a complicated graph, but I thought it was interesting.
Yeah. He has a graphical version of that as well.
I'll put it up on the stream in a second.
Yeah. So basically, like explorers bring more explorers, socializers bring more socializers. But the killers basically, and basically like achievers and socializers kind of attract killers, but as you attract killers, you basically kind of like, as you attract killers, basically it reduces the it kind of chases away achievers and socializers.
Yeah, the graph's up.
Because achievers want to show their mastery. and the stupid the stupid stupid killer comes along and basically kind of like ruins their mastery.
And socializers just don't want to be messed with.
Right. Well, and killers, like the traditional kind of asshole killers, really like socializers because they scream really loudly when you kill them.
And that gives them more notoriety.
Right. Right. Then they can kind of indirectly control other people because then, they can indirectly control other people because then they have you said notoriety. They have a reputation. It's like, oh, don't mess with that guy. He's this awful killer guy.
Which that actually reminds me of Star Wars Galaxies. Everything reminds me of Star Wars Galaxies. I mean, Swig was just a really good game for it gave tools for all the personality types. So people really strived in their own little micro environments.
Mm-hmm.
That reminds me of a lot of the notorious bounty hunters.
Mm-hmm.
Where even if they weren't bounty hunting, even if you just saw them in a PvP zone, because there's a very specific zone for PvP there called Restus. Mm-hmm. Like if you saw those bounty hunters there, you knew, either if they were on the other team, run away. If they were on your team, hang out by that guy, because he's gonna keep you alive.
Right.
Or everyone's going to be gunning for that guy. So it's kind of
Right. Like you stand close, but not too close.
Yeah. Be ready to run if you have to.
Right.
Got a whole bunch of wheat. Five loaves of bread. That's good. Have you found much iron? Much more iron?
I put in any iron I found. I put it in the chest upstairs.
Okay, because you can just toss that straight in a furnace to cook.
Okay. Smelt it straight out.
I got it. Yes. Hi, Vela.
Yeah.
This is a random person just standing behind me. Oh, you still got your wings? Oh, thank you. We'll split this, I gotta remember how to do pumpkin. 2, 3. Because pumpkin grows in a very specific way. If you have food, we'll take it. Oh my goodness. That was a freaking murderer. Those poor rabbits. What'd they ever do to you? We got rabbit. We eating good tonight.
Actually, I don't know if I actually made it to the cave I meant to go to, but I did at least find a cave. So.
Yeah, there was a cave in between us and the one that you were looking for.
Right.
Yeah, we got pumpkins growing now, so that'll be good. Ooh, I'm gonna cover that hole up.
Oh.
That's a good way to get a zombie on top of you.
Well then.
Hot zombie action. Okay. I'm out of torches. I'm out of wood. Oh no. There's more iron. Okay, I need to get more supplies.
Yeah, there's iron over here. I'm gonna drop some torches. I hear a zombie.
Okay, thank you, Bella. Yeah, I think I need to just get back into expanding out the base more and get a tree farm down here. Where would I want to build that? Because I want to build another farm out that way, so I don't want to go that way. I might expand out of your tunnel and turn your tunnel into base.
That's fine. Going along and planting some torches to.
I'm gonna need ladders.
Oh shit!
You okay?
Yeah, something decided to hit me. Oh, it's a skeleton. Oh crap! Oh, and I fell.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
gonna
dead.
die.
You're dead. Hey, there's no saving for that. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm not going outside. Oh,
Found some lava.
someone found a creeper. I think that was Vela.
Yep, there we go.
Yay! Happy birthday! Here, actually, give me a second before you go running out again.
Yep.
Take that. And these.
I think you grabbed them.
Give me a sec. There's one more. Oh wait, that's not. Did I make you a helmet? No. I'm trying to remember the helmet. There it is. There you go. And the last thing you need, you have enough. Take a sword. I need some more sticks. Do we have wood in here? Oh, we have a whole stack of logs. Okay. Here, take an iron pickaxe too. The iron pickaxe is needed for rarer metals.
Right.
Gold, redstone, diamond, so on and so forth.
Okay.
But you will be able to take much more damage now.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was just going along and planting torches and seeing where I was, and all of a sudden,
cave.
all of a sudden, skeleton shooting me.
Yep, that's how that works.
Not even nice enough to shoot me in the face, just kind of shoot me.
But yeah, so what that graph I put up on the screen basically represents is that killers make everyone unhappy.
Yeah, killers kind of tend to chase other people away.
But if you have the right proportion of killers, it can also give the other personality types purpose.
Right, right. Yeah, and yeah, like, and Bartle's original theory is that it wasn't about killer's bad, don't let them in your game. It's about basically finding the right balance for the type of game you want.
So if your game's fundamentally out of balance, then you have to choose to make systems that encourage one personality over the other to try to find a balance.
Right.
Which, I mean, that it sounds easy. Oh yeah, you just make things for more socializers. It's hard. Yeah. It's hard to balance it.
Yeah, this is not the. It's a lot easier said than done.
Yeah, okay. Exactly. Oh.
Fell from a high place.
I think she tried to go gliding and missed.
Yeah, the trick to flying is you throw yourself at the ground and then miss the ground.
Thank you, Adam Douglas. Douglas Adam? I always forget. Douglas Adams, that sounds right. Okay. I know everything that I'm building seems kind of boxy. It'll get better over time.
Yeah, we're just kind of starting out here.
Yeah. Especially if this becomes like a long-running thing for the podcast, that'd be kind of neat. Just to have an archive of the development of this world. That'd be kind of neat.
Right.
I'm surprised no one's going, oh my god, texture pack. I love this texture pack. It is my favorite thing in the world. In the Minecraft world. God dang it. Oh, I haven't been looking at the chat. I don't know if anyone's been talking. Oh, pumpkin grows in a very specific way. Yeah. Thank you, Bella.
Too late.
Oh no, I'm so worried about stream snipers. Now that is an interesting, like, stream sniping. That's kind of a killer behavior.
What's this?
Stream sniping.
Yeah. Explain it to me. Explain it to me like I'm 5.
Oh, okay. Stream sniping is when somebody watches somebody streaming and goes out of their way to hunt that person down and kill them.
Oh.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's actually against most games legal agreements now. Are you fucking shooting arrows at me, you asshole?
No.
Cell's floating up there shooting arrows at me. Make me freak out. She's stream sniping. Fucker.
Oh. My god. Like these are your friends.
I know.
You should feel full regret at this point.
I was just watching a show that had the Shame Wizard. I am very shameful. Shame. Shame. Shame.
You to follow you around with a bell. So everybody knows your shame.
Sorry, I'm not on 14. I don't have my nude mods.
Oh, that Minecraft nude mod. Mm.
Oh! 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 Need brain bleach for that thought. Jeez.
You're welcome.
Don't want any of that, Rule 34.
Well, you're welcome. Glad I'm make your day.
Your audio changed a little bit for a second.
What was that?
Your mic audio changed for a second. It was weird. No, my shovel broke. Do I have another shovel? I don't have another shovel. Okay, I guess I got what I got. So, if we can find some cows, I think I saw some cows around here somewhere. We get leather and meat available. I mean, if we could get any animal, like we could start a farm up. Like that's what I'm working on right now. Chickens are actually really good because when you have eggs, you actually have if you throw an egg, you actually have like a 5% chance to spawn another chicken.
Really?
I'm dead serious. So you can actually get exponential chicken growth that way. Well, if you kill them, they're not there anymore, are they?
Like we're talking about killers, you don't have to be a literal killer.
Fella, you're taking this conversation a little too literally. Here, have a Snickers. You get a little murdery when you're hungry. But no, we used to help admin a public Minecraft server. And that's where my killer tendencies kind of popped up, because on occasion I'd make a dungeon and just randomly teleport one of the survival players onto it.
Right.
And make them run through it. I mean, if they got through it, then they get rewarded and stuff. And if they died, I'd make sure that they kept their inventory.
Right.
Like I didn't punish the survival players for being a dick, because I was being a dick, but
right.
I was trying to have fun.
Right. Kind of a.
In a kind of dick way.
Well, in a controlling way, yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'm gonna get us the chicken farm built. Yeah, I might make dungeons to force Sai to run through them on stream. I mean, you're fine with that, right?
Sure.
Crap, how do you make a trapdoor? I don't... That's getting dark. Crap. Trapdoors. I think you have to make a half. Oh, wait. Is it that? Yeah, it's that. I got it. Oh, God.
Hi.
Yeah, so you could actually just build that in the main house, really. Okay. I got seeds on me. Let's get a chicken. See if I can grab a chicken real oh crap, there's skeletons out there. Nope. We're gonna wait till morning.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the concept of someone building a dungeon and forcing someone to like run through a dungeon to get to their like domain.
Mm-hmm.
I think that could be considered a killer activity too.
Right.
Because they're controlling somebody's ability to do something or to get
Right.
somewhere.
There you go. Got some iron cooking.
Nice. Okay, okay, Vela, you do that. That's usually what I do. That's kind of weird. I'm usually the one. I'm usually the underground tunneler that like connects everyone's bases.
I'm a literal dwarf in this game, so.
Yeah. I'm the same way. I used to call myself a tunnel mole. Sal, I'm making a underground base. I'm doing exactly what I usually do. Like, get off my back.
Baby steps. Baby steps.
I am Omega. Destroyer of worlds. Oh, spoiler alert. Yeah, I think it's kind of more of a chilled out stream than we usually do.
Yeah. I mean, I think that I think like I think the main thing that to take away from this when talking about killers is like there's not there's a lot of assumptions you can make about them that's not necessarily true, and like I think a lot of like what we could talk about a lot more we could talk about, we could do it in a separate stream, like talking about like kind of the role of for example raid leaders and raiding, since that's kind of a type of killer behavior.
Right.
But like raiding is kind of its own beast that kind of goes beyond
Everything.
right.
That is interesting. Like, what would you consider to be like one of the first MMOs to implement a raid? Not necessarily in the traditional sense that we know with like World of Warcraft, but
I mean, there were some mods that had kind of like large group activities. Uh,
since we're on the topic, I figured,
right. Um, uh, Yeah, I think the first game that kind of like really took off with that was EverQuest. They had kind of these giant boss fights.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Meridian had a bit of that, where there was this thing called the Lich Queen. It's kind of
Ooh.
connected to this scenario, with basically kind of once again pit players against each other. Where one group could find these amulets to turn them into necromancers, and this other group could find swords that turn them into hunters. And the theory was that the hunters would go hunt the necromancers, and then, like the kind of the end goal was the idea was that the idea was the basically like the hunters would basically like go and confront the Lich Queen and kill the Lich Queen, and that would basically kind of like destroy all the amulets and the swords in the world, and then kind of restart the scenario.
Mm-hmm.
What actually happened though is like nobody wanted, especially the hunters, didn't want to lose their shiny toys
Oh.
because like the swords and the amulets gave essentially gave stat bonuses that were stat bonuses were really hard to come by
Right.
in Meridian. And so like the people, and the sword basically, the sword gave you like physical stats, like stats that were good for wielding weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Weapons were kind of the bread and butter for a lot of the game. Like like there was spells and casting, but that was seen as something kind of to supplement the rest of the game.
Right.
And so you had
Yeah, because I asked because I was looking at the prospect of trying the game out on a stream, and you were telling me the ideal builds were fighter builds.
Right. They're easy to build. They're easy to gear up. Right, and so kind of so like the hunters essentially had no incentive to go kill the Lich Queen, and the Lich Queen was pretty tough, and like so. Talking about killer, going back to killer. So like the people that wanted to kill the Lich Queen
Mm-hmm.
were the killer types, the types that wanted to control that, especially people who basically were jealous because they didn't have
The shiny sword.
Right, the Sword of the Hunt, or the Amulet of 3.
Right.
And so basically you would have these killers that would go in, try to kill the Lich Queen, usually by exploiting, because she was this really tough thing that and she's theoretically weak to the Sword of the Hunt, damage type that it did, or it was specified to do extra damage or something like that, And so so basically you had the this
Oh my goodness.
I'm hearing stuff. I'm like I have to kind of pause for a second. I'm like, what is that? Is that is that a threat?
Yes. Yes.
Were you shooting a bow somewhere?
No. I'm trying to work on the house, and I got ambushed by zombies.
I heard what it sounded like a bow being shot repeatedly. So
yes, that is a threat. Like if you hear a bow, it's a threat.
Well, there's threats, and there's immediate threats, and then there's threats on the other side of the wall.
Okay. Chickens. Where are my chickens? Come on. Come on, chicken. Chick. Oh my goodness. I do notice the mobs tend to be Pretty freaking laggy.
Oh, you got killed by Husk?
Yeah.
What is Husk?
That's one of those wrapped up zombies. Like the
Oh,
mummies.
okay.
Yeah. He rubber banded all over the place. Come on, chick. Chick, 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 chick. Come on. Come on. Yeah, I've got chickens over by the house that I'm trying to... Okay. Got my one chicken. That's all, literally all I need. So now we're going to get a door built for the front of the courtyard. Because I ain't dealing with those guys breaking in again. But yeah, chickens will drop eggs and feathers. And the valuable thing about eggs is you can make cakes with them.
Right.
Or you can spawn more chickens with them. And feathers are used for making arrows. And a couple of other things. Okay. Chicken farm made. Yay. Oh, we got pumpkins making too. Yay.
I found string and a spider eye.
Oh, string is super important.
I throw that in the. Yeah, I killed a. Went up to the surface and killed a spider.
Nice. Yeah, if we can get a spider farm, a spider spawner, or a skeleton farmer, spawner, we are set for life. Because a spider farm will give us infinite string, and a skeleton farmer can give us infinite arrows and bones, which gives us bone meal, which means we can make more food. You know, positive feedback loop.
Right, right.
Yeah, those are like, those kind of spawn everywhere. The diorite and andesite. Kind of annoying like that. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Okay, I need to make ladders, which means I need a lot of sticks. Oh, we just got quiet.
Yeah.
Okay. That'll do for that. Killers. More things about killers. Killers are assholes. No, I'm kidding. They can
Always.
be.
Maybe, yeah, I mean that's I think that's kind of one of the issues you run into is like, yeah, like you know, they can be
And those
really kind of nasty.
are the people that everyone associates with it, and
Right.
you know I mean, that's like a psychological thing where it's like it's always the most vocal group that gets the attention, not always the most accurate or truthful group.
Right. Well, and like I said, like, you know, I think, you know, you get a bit of the you get a bit of kind of the history of the, you know, the term. Because, you know, like one of the things about Bartle's types is like, you know, like, they tend to be kind of really misunderstood.
Mm-hmm.
You know, kind of like what I said, you know, originally about the, you know, about them, where you know, what I really just said when we started talking about the Bartle stuff is like, you know, like people make a lot of assumptions that, you know, aren't always true.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're complex thoughts, and they can be kind of abstract in the way that they're presented sometimes.
Right. Actually, going back to one of the topics you did bring up, which I think is kind of interesting, you did, talked about like talking about the how Bartle's types kind of, you know, in a way do kind of like really focus on or focus on MUDs. Like they apply to MUDs, but not necessarily as much to other types of games. There have been, you know, I mentioned before, but like, you know, there have been other methodologies that taxonomies kind of built besides Bartle stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think one of the one I, you know, one of my I particularly like it, I think I mentioned before, is Nicole Lazaro, where she has 4 types of fun that roughly correspond to
Bartle's types.
yeah, Bartle's types. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And
then there was some empirical, you know, research done about it. This guy Nick Yee did a paper, but I think I mentioned before, like one of the flaws I found with his work is that he focused on a very kind of established game.
Mm-hmm. That was based off of EverQuest, wasn't it?
Right. And so yeah, it's one of those things like, you know, it was, I think it was kind of hard to very accurately kind of like, you know, say, oh, you know, like, you know, because one of the things he kind of had was that, you know, like he you know, he basically had like, you know, oh, killers don't exist, or not killers, explorers don't exist, and it was like, you know, because of the age of the game, because the game had been, you know, very established by that point,
there wasn't a need for explorers to exist.
right? Well, yeah, and the game had been kind of cataloged out pretty extensively.
So like the explorers that would have existed in that game would have been the ones creating the initial catalog.
Right. Or well, I mean, um, well, I think like a lot of the tools that were kind of developed were kind of made and automated for, um, were kind of made and automated for the achiever types
Hmm.
because they wanted to basically, very efficiently go through um, and basically they wanted to very efficiently go through and kind of
Get everything and get their
right.
mastery.
Right, and so like they wanted to essentially do the explorer's job for them,
That,
collecting information because because a lot of it was basically kind of gathered automatically.
hmm that actually reminds me. I think I've told you this story before, but when I was getting one of the Warcraft expansion packs,
Mm,
I went to GameStop and waited at the midnight release of it, and
mm,
all that fun stuff.
right,
I think it was Cataclysm or not, Wrath of the Lich King or Cataclysm, one or the other, and
right.
they had a sale for the I think it was the Bradley Player's Guide or the
Mm,
whatever that company is,
right.
and like 50% off the Player's Guide with the collector's edition, which everyone had to pre-order the collector's edition, so it was just kind of like tacked on. Like, oh yeah, I
Right,
can get this for you 50% off. I looked at the guy and I just looked at him like, have you ever heard of Wiki?
right.
And then walked
Well,
away.
right. Well, I mean, yeah, like this the strategy guides, used to be a big thing. But yeah, like exactly, like like wikis and online sites. I mean, even back in the day, the um, you had like news groups dedicated to talking about um, dedicated to to certain games, and so
Hmm.
like people would kind of share information.
Yeah. Talking about console games in particular, I still have my Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time player's guide,
Right.
and I grew up because we only had one Nintendo in the house, and I was the younger brother. So
Mm.
my brother would always play the games, and I would read the player's guide and like guide him
You'd be the
through it.
backseat driver.
Yeah, exactly. And that was just kind of our role. Well, the thing is that I have a photographic memory.
Mm.
So I read that guide enough times that I have it ingrained page by page in my head.
Mm.
So when I sit down to play Ocarina of Time, this happened specifically when the 3DS version came out.
Mm.
I went through the game and just methodically got every single heart piece as I went, and every
Right.
golden scotula, because I was just like, oh yeah, isn't there supposed to be one here? Oh yeah, there's one here, and there's one here, and there's one here throughout the entire game, until I 100%ed it, and I didn't even realize it, and I'm like, oh, I'm
Mm.
I'm out of things to do. Okay, I guess I'll go be Ganondorf now.
Right.
And then I felt that the exact I felt the effect of having that memory when I went to go play the Master's Quest, because I'd never played Master Quest before, which
Right.
is the hard mode version, and like the maps the east west is reversed,
Right.
so the game world's mirrored. And then trying to go through that, I went, oh, this is actually hard, like, because I didn't have the
Right.
memory
Because you
anymore.
didn't have all you didn't know all the secrets, you didn't know the locations. You had memorized everything, but you didn't understand the kind of not necessarily kind of understand the logic. I mean, that's kind of one of the things about like a lot of the older Nintendo games, is that like it wasn't like it was one thing to memorize it, but a lot of times you kind of like start to get a feel for, oh well, this thing's over here, and I need to look for this type of thing. a lot of times there would be patterns and how
Right.
things like secrets are hidden and all that stuff.
Right. And like growing up, I did start developing that pattern recognition playing the other Zelda games that I wasn't as
Right.
you know, memorized with. So and yeah, so I developed that over time. So, but it was interesting playing Ocarina of Time and having to use the thought process of the other games instead of the memory process. And then
Right.
it felt like a much more genuine experience playing through the Master Quest. It was interesting. Like how much that just changed everything for my brain.
Right. Right.
What were we talking about again?
Arguably about killers, but
Okay. Well, I killed Ganondorf, so
yeah.
a lot. But oh crap. Where am I going? What am I? Oh, that's right. I'm building a tree farm. This is deep enough. So yeah, I think one of the things I was talking about earlier, I think with games that have a lot of social design implementation instead of being, oh, this is how you play the game, this is what you're expected to do. When the developers give more control to the social aspect, I think killers tend to strive more because then they can make the rules. They can try to enforce their own rules on the social design of the game.
Mm.
And you see that a lot in Rust games and Arc games and King's Reign. I heard. I tend, because I started thinking about that, and I came to realize that games that are really really good for the killer player type usually have a lot of player reviews, like Steam reviews of people saying, "Oh, everyone on the server is just an asshole," and I can't just hang out with my friends on it. I'm like, that's because you're surrounded by killers.
Right. But, I mean, yeah, that's pretty much exactly that. That's pretty much exactly it.
Yeah, yeah. So I thought that was an interesting revelation.
Right.
I guess the battle royale games would be kind of killer encouraged too.
Right.
And I noticed that like the games that are really really good for killers, they boom in popularity.
Well, I mean, and they tend to I think they tend to they tend to kind of like flare up in popularity and then kind of like
Sizzle out.
yeah. I mean, basically they get very popular for a short period of time.
Mm-hmm. And then I think the games that are like very explorer encouraging, like Minecraft for example. I think Minecraft can be an example for it, like because it is kind of an explorer encouraged game. They can get popular, but they'll have like a longevity to them.
Right.
Where the killers kind of boom and sizzle. And then achiever games are just, I see those more as like leaderboard games.
Right.
And then socializer games are just everything in between.
Hi.
Whoa. No. Okay. Vela just jump scared me with some
No, that was
bits.
me.
No, no.
Oh, on your stream. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, and I screwed up my thing. Wait, I have to replay it for you because I had it covered up by accident. That's not what I wanted. Okay, whatever. Stupid game. Stupid, not game, stream. Jeez, what am I doing anymore? Oh god, my brain! So right now I'm digging out a tree farm. Thank you for the bits, Vela. Vela gave me bits and it made me jump. Because all I heard is just, woo! Ah!
Anyway, we have hit the 3-hour mark. I don't know if anybody else had any questions or whatnot, or if he wanted to wrap up the stream.
Yeah, we can wrap up. I just wanted to finish digging out this little tunnel. Yeah, if anyone has any questions or comments on what we're talking about, this is an interactive podcast. I love to have interaction. I love for people to ask questions that we can answer. Because that's when we get like the most interesting conversations.
Yeah, when people kind of chip in with their own ideas and thoughts.
That we weren't prepared for. Because we do try to prepare a little bit. We are very loosely scripted. Barely. So yeah, and honestly, I think the entire stream is my mods, to be honest.
That's fine, you know, as long as they're entertained.
Yeah.
I did find an ice biome.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I think I overshot the cave somewhat.
Just a little bit.
Oh no, it's not ice. This is it's snowing here, I guess. No, it's sandstone. I have no idea.
You sound so confused.
Oh, that was a creeper.
Congratulations.
I didn't even see it.
Okay, I guess we can wrap up the stream here and pick this up next week. I mean, if we ever want to, do more Minecraft streaming that's not podcast related, we can do that too.
Right.
So thanks everyone for watching. To next week we'll be probably talking about the explorer personality type in more depth, because I think that's the one of the most interesting ones. As I'll I got a Twitter now. I got my Discord now. And I got the YouTube channel now. So there's all those links.
Lots of ways to
interact.
Lots of ways to interact with us.
Yep, lots of ways to interact. YouTube's there if you ever want to catch up, if you missed a stream, or I will be getting around to making highlights and clips of the streams. I'm still learning how to edit. So that is a plan in the future, so you don't have to sit through an entire 3-hour video of dead silence most of the time.
It's not always dead silence.
Nah. No, it's not.
Just
Just when we're collecting our thoughts.
Right. Well, and like you said, I think the interesting thing about this is where we can get some interaction from people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the strength of kind of doing the streaming type thing like this. Get people who are interesting, and again, we can kind of come up with topics kind of based on our interest. But if people want to give suggestions about topics, um,
Oh yeah, I actually had the plan of making a channel on the Discord for topic suggestions. I totally forgot I was thinking about that.
oh, there you go.
Yeah. Hey, we got 4 chickens now.
Do we now? Oh, cool.
Yeah. Okay. Let me find someone to raid. Give some raid love to somebody. We'll raid Surian. Yeah. So, thanks everyone. Again, thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you again next week. We'll talk about explorers. We might do more Minecraft. We might do some Warframe. Whatever we feel like doing. And I'll see everyone next week.